When it became apparent this church was beginning to have financial difficulties, and even to the point where we were told we may only have 6 months left to live, and I said, okay, if we're going to go down, let's have a party. And so we took what funds we had left, and I got St. Vincent de Paul to let us use their facility because it's quite large. And we invited all the homeless. We call it our Turkey Sunday. It's the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And 100 homeless people showed up. On that occasion, we worked together as a church to put on the dinner, to roast the turkeys, and to prepare the food. And we became servants that day. We did not ask the homeless to stand up in line and take a plate or do a buffet. No, we served them. We waited on them. And this turned out to be an annual tradition. I think we just had our 18th year. And miraculously, the church has stayed afloat with, and now that we are in the community, we have the community support. The following year, I got to tell you, people walked in here with checks to help us do that dinner.
The thing I've noticed about this church, there are only 77 members. And I was a professional singer for about 70 years, till I lost my voice, singing voice. So I've sung in lots of churches, been members of lots of churches, different denominations. Nothing compares to this little church of 77 members, 20% of whom are in the choir, and all of whom epitomize the scriptures. Mark 12:30 says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. This is the first commandment. And the second commandment is love your neighbor as yourself. This congregation is totally out of self and for the community and for the homeless and for the helpless and for the less fortunate. And I'm just blessed to be here and be a part of that ministry.
We got into a ministry of Bibles for inmates who are serving considerable length of time in penitentiary. And it started with a handyman that we knew of that used to work for a family here. And he asked us for a Bible. He was serving time. And he asked us for a Bible, and we sent him one. And then he said, well, his cellmate didn't have a Bible either. So we sent him another. And before you know it, we had a ministry. And we learned a lot about prison life, how difficult it is for them to be honorable in that confinement and in that terrible depressive state. And many of them rebel by tearing pages out of books and taking pages out of the Bibles and rolling them in tobacco and literally smoking their Bibles. And but when we started sending good Bibles, NIV study Bibles, and other really good Bibles, we found that they respect them and they write to us and they have formed Bible study. One of them just recently asked for a Strong's Concordance. And amazingly, although we only have one fundraiser, which happens to be next Sunday a year, it only pays about half of what we need for those Bibles. It always shows up. The money shows up.
God reached out to me, I feel, very specifically in an incident where 3 of us, young high school boys, were going camping and did so up on a lake up in Washington, kind of out back from anywhere. During that time, I was shot in the neck with a .22 rifle, and as it hit me, I said, God help me. I felt that our Lord lessened my injury, and I could have been paralyzed from my neck down, but wasn't. Since then, I have tried to follow His ways, and many times I've failed, but it's becoming more relevant to me to try to help others and to try to give what I can, and both in monetarily and just in physical action.
We have a wonderful message, but what we are capable of doing is getting that message out there in the community, but it takes a lot of thinking.